Welcome to the Final Hour podcast, coming to you from the original Living Word Christian Center out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Jim Hammond.
I'm Linnea Farrell.
I'm John Gapp.
I'm JD.
And we just want to thank you for tuning in with us. And we're asking you, I know you're tired of this, but I'm looking at our results and the number of people that watch Spotify that do not follow is mind-blowing. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching on a regular basis. But, please follow us. For the number of people that watch, for the actual number of followers we have is a total joke, On YouTube, please subscribe. Please subscribe on YouTube, Rumble. It's the green follow button. Spotify, hit the plus sign, and you are subscribing. It helps us. If the more subscribers we get, just on YouTube alone, we have 4,500, and it just helps in the algorithms. Mm-hmm. Apple Podcasts, hit the plus follow button. Facebook, all you have to do is like it.
It's interesting with like YouTube and social media, because with the conference here last week, I was watching the live views.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And at least two of the nights, we got over 1,000 live views concurrently. That means 1,000 people were watching at the same time through that YouTube link, and it was awesome. However, when we came back to the stats on Monday morning, they were reporting like 850. And
so they cheated us on our numbers.
So it feels like they said, we're going to dock 20%.
Yeah, we know they're doing that.
It's pretty interesting because I tracked it.
That's YouTube.
I tracked it all week long, and then at the end of the week, they were reporting concurrent views as about 20% less.
And you can prove it. John just proved YouTube what they do. They're a woke company, and that's all I'll say about them. Hey, we are taking an Israel trip. February 2nd through the 13th.
This is a we.
This
it
is
includes
a public
Linnea.
service announcement.
It includes Jeremiah. It includes
John.
But also, what is a John without a James?
John and Jim, Jim and John.
Exactly. It was meant to be. It's
was
like
meant
PB
to
and
be.
J.
Yeah.
Actually, it's J and J.
And so
different, but the same.
Yes,
Jim is coming.
Yeah, I'll be leading the trip, and Linnea is still going to be the angry pirate bus captain.
You gotta get people, keep them in line.
But you are a captain.
There's no way out of it.
You've attained the rank of captain, so
I cannot renege unless it's some unforeseen emergency, which I have the blood of Jesus.
His ticket is booked, people.
Yes, so it'd be a waste of money at this point, and so I'm going.
And he does not like to waste money. Me neither.
It'll be great. How fun will that be?
It's going to be...
The Final Hour team on the Final Hour podcast tour to Israel.
It's going to be like 2-week sleepover, Jim.
Whether if it's one bus, two buses, or three buses,
13
we're just going to keep taking people. Probably not past three, I'm not saying, maybe it's just one. One would be very easy.
An amazing one.
But
we do have 20 people signed up so far.
Yeah, which is
half
amazing.
Half of a bus, almost half a bus.
This early.
Fantastic.
We already have half a bus signed up. So,
and we have a little video for you.
Hey, Final Hour podcast, tour of Israel. You don't want to miss it. Come on over.
Again, so real. Everybody's just kind of getting situated. We'll be preaching a couple sermons here in a little bit. We're doing worship, but again, just soak it in. Tiberius is on this side.
the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall.
Perfect.
For me,
I think it's like the only natural place on earth where like you touch something and you feel like God's presence is there. I mean, I know he's in us and he's around us, but I'm saying an actual physical thing you touch, I've never experienced anything like it. Shalom Lek Luan.
Nice.
Nice.
Very good.
I'm Linnea Farrell.
I'm the other.
I'm John. Yeah, this is the
This
other
is the
guy.
other
I'm
guy.
the other guy.
This is our tour guide guy who has been giving us an amazing tour of all the sites in Israel. Currently behind us, Guy, you want to explain what this is? I've never been here before. This is
According to the Jewish tradition, the Messiah is supposed to born over here somewhere in Migdal Eder, and that's the name of those towers,
where we
Migdal
are.
that's
Eder.
where we are.
Right here on the outskirts of
We
Bethel.
hope that you guys will join us next year when we come back for our second Final Hour podcast tour.
Shalom.
Shalom.
For those
We're-
of you listening, audience, there will be a video in the
We're
more
believing
section.
to witness Ezekiel 38 Gog Magog war.
Guy did say to me when I said, "Hey, Guy, Jim is coming," and he's like, "Every time he comes, there's a war."
It's because he keeps saying he wants to
I
see
know.
it.
Yeah, I want
Stop.
to see it. I want to see the flaming rocks the size of cars falling from the sky, crushing the Russian army.
I want to see the full.
Speaking of the Russian army, did you see that Russia bombed Ukraine last night?
Russia.
Why are we doing this? They like exploded like some big thing.
They're bombing them every day.
I know, but they said they were going to stop.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, that's why he was meeting with them. I mean, they were
No,
trying
no,
to
no,
get
no,
them
no.
to stop, but
No,
then
they're
you
gonna
come
they're
back
gonna
and
bomb
you,
them to the last second.
Well, it's horrible.
Absolutely.
I mean,
bomb.
I don't really know what to think about that. I did have a family member tell me how much they love Putin and how great they think he is and how they think there's all this stuff going on behind the scenes. And I was like, please stop.
Please tell me the family member after that. I bet I can guess who it is. But wow.
It's distant family member. It's not a
Any-
blood. It's
any-
not
any-
like immediate.
Anyone that has opposed him has died of poison.
I know.
So he's an awful man.
Listen, Putin and Zelensky both have incredible free, clear path to continuing the presidency. I mean,
I don't think so.
Zelensky's had all of the opposition silenced or put in jail, or
That's true. That is true.
We'll see. I think
know
he's
it
I
going
think
to
it's all.
you think he's gonna get what?
after the war's end. Zelensky goes bye bye. I predict.
Oh,
and
yeah.
here's
Think
the
he's
thing.
just a pawn?
Do you know that Ukraine, when they conscripting a soldier, is saying that you are required to go in, like we did World War II.
Yeah.
You know, you got to. If they call your number, you're in. You're in the army. You've got to do your 2 to 4 years. That's called conscription. I just found out that Ukraine does not conscript anyone under the age of 25. What? Are you really serious about winning the war when all your 18 to 24-year-olds don't even have to go?
Do we believe that though?
That's the truth. That is the truth. Russia, okay, they force their people in 18 and up.
Yeah.
Right? But the Ukraine, or how it makes you wonder, how serious are you in the need for our protection if you're giving your 18 to 24-year-olds in the midst of an invasion a choice
Good
to go in
point.
the army?
Good point.
25 and up, it's required, or they have to flee the country, or you're a criminal if you don't go in.
Which-
You're dodging.
I do have some friends who are.
It just makes you say, we're spending all this money on this country, right? Ukraine,
Yeah.
and they're not even requiring
No, you're right.
all their 18 to 24-year-olds to go to war.
And they're coming here.
Zelensky's
Sketchy.
threatened the U.S. multiple times, said,
like him.
you know, if you don't support us, your kids are going to be fighting this
yeah,
war
that's
with
right.
us.
He did say that.
He said that.
Well, your kids aren't fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Your kids aren't fighting. 25 and up, I'm sure there's 18 to 24-year-olds that say, out of
Yeah,
patriotic.
right,
But
right.
the other half, they're not going to war unless you make them. And this is normal, right? This happens in times of war. Israel or Singapore, you have to do 2 years, 2 to 3. You have to. That is a requirement at 18, right? And so anyways, I just think, oh, man, we're helping these guys. And we're bending over backwards helping these guys.
Yeah.
And they don't even require 18 to 24s to go to war. I think, how serious are you? You know, maybe you wouldn't have lost 20% of your country if you threw another 200,000 people in there to fight. Sorry, I'm just venting. I don't like Zelensky.
Do you think
I
the
think
US,
he's crooked as all get out.
Of course.
Do you think the U.S. would be better off socially if we required even like a 2-year ROTC, like even if it's not
Oh, I see what
2
you're saying.
years
If we
of
would require
army
all of
or
our
2
kids
years
to do
of
that,
whatever,
of course, that'd help us.
Absolutely,
Look
but
at
it's
the
too
kids
late.
these days.
it might be.
Well, it would cause a civil war.
It
If
would.
we said everyone at the age of 18 has to do 2 years of
Because of the
reserve,
reserve.
Oh, we
Just I just
First
want,
of all, none of them will
I
make it
just
through
want-
boot camp.
I was gonna say I just want all of them to go through boot camp.
well, get off your phones and go run a mile.
Yeah.
Right, but
I
whatever.
bet you would
That-
find.
That's why we're bringing back the presidential
society-
fitness
It's comments
awards.
like that is why we're only 10% of our viewers are under the age of 18. It's comments
No,
like that.
I mean, I think people.
but that's how
might
just
be.
kind of how I feel. I
Well,
feel,
it's
feel
true
like
though.
they're weak.
It's true. Have you? What's that book?
You know?
It's all about kids and iPhones. So you have the next generation of parents saying they're not going to give their kids iPhones because
Yeah.
they've watched
They've
the
watched
dysfunction of it, which
Right.
it is. It is.
Take an average 16-year-old boy and have him do a pull-up, i.e. president physical fitness test. I bet most of them can't even do one. Most of them can't even do one.
That's probably true.
You know,
Depends on where you're at.
public school.
Look at the kids.
Go to public school.
Everybody's at home on their phones watching TV,
let's do
playing
it- let's
video
do a
games.
northern
Kids that are in,
public
like,
school.
athletics.
Well, yes, but
I'm
you're
saying a
average.
kid that's not
you're
in
average.
athletics. Not everybody's in athletics. What, 15%? Take the other 85% that doesn't play sports. Not one pull-up. And so they I'm just saying
Pull-ups are hard.
that's where we're at. That's where that was used to be required. You used to have to do that every year. You used
I
to
know
have
I
to do
would-
pull-ups
I would
in school.
I
The
always look
president's
forward to it.
physical fitness.
I wanted to win.
Yeah,
same.
and even the kids that did nothing, right? That did nothing physically except gym class.
But
most
gym
of them
class was
could do.
You can have notes to get out of gym class. My foot
You
hurts. I never had a note to get out of gym class.
No, she was too busy having the
Jim-
ball thrown at her while she was running to
Jim
second
was
base.
my gym teacher.
That was her gym
It was
teacher. So we
intense.
just played kickball, and the lady in charge of the gym program hated.
she
She
did.
absolutely hated me because I just did things I wanted
And
to
Jim
do.
didn't make us take the tests.
No, I never made her. I was like, gym class, you got to take a test for badminton. Why are we even playing badminton? Okay.
Okay, first of all, I won badminton, okay? My team, we won. Me and Craig Christensen.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean,
Jake always
not for
Jake
gym
always
class.
bragged about winning in badminton and pickleball.
Gym class is floor
Pickleball
hockey,
came.
dodgeball, kickball.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did play those. What's
base,
wrong
did you
with
guys-
we did big base.
Big base
yeah.
is good.
I think that was like just coming around. I mean, I'm older.
What about the weight room?
We didn't have a weight room.
We
yet.
didn't have one. We had to.
See, look, you're younger. You got that stuff. We didn't have that.
I didn't have a weight room at our school either.
I remember one time we were playing kickball, and I was all-time pitcher, of course, as we're playing kickball.
Yep.
And
The teacher,
this
all-time
was-
pitcher.
This was 9th and 10th grade girls, and Linnea was running to second base. I had enticed her,
He did. He was like, "You can run,"
and
like,
I throw
threw
the
it
ball
really
up on the
high.
ceiling, but then I fake throw it. She goes for it.
Yeah.
Boom!
And I knocked her completely off her feet. She tried to jump over the ball. The ball hit her in the leg and knocked her flat.
Man, nothing.
And she got up and acted like big deal. It
I
didn't
know.
hurt me. Today's kid,
Yeah.
you're being sued.
Yeah,
You're being
of
sued.
course, a male teacher cannot. I mean, and let me tell you, he whipped that ball.
It's really
Yeah.
hard.
It wasn't like, it was like, boom.
Well, we were playing for keeps.
the ball
Yeah.
like literally went like.
About
and-
15 years ago, I was doing. I was subbing, and John Swaya was also in there, or I was paraprofessional for a bit
Oh,
at
yeah.
MCA,
Yeah.
and I was doing gym class with John Swaya. A 6th grade boy tried to bunt and take off for first base. I grabbed that ball and I whipped it at the back of his head, and his glasses went flying off. And I was like,
Oh my, yeah, that would be
I was
considered
concerned.
abuse.
I was
You would
concerned that I
definitely-
was going to be in trouble, but he laughed it off, and limped over.
Not today.
This is not even
back to
the 80s. This is the 90s.
That was.
I mean,
That was
when
the
I was
90s.
doing the gym class, it was the
I would
90s.
have been
And,
13. Yeah. It would have been like 93,
I mean, and
94.
it was a totally different world. Totally different world. The kids were tough. This was little Maranatha.
We weren't allowed to complain about every little.
I
You
didn't
didn't even
complain.
think about complaining about. I don't even know what
Well,
these
it's
kids
more
complain
fun when
about
you
now.
got some skin in the game, when there's a little bit of danger associated, a little bit of pain possible. It's
Oh
more
yeah,
fun.
you're right.
Because then if you win, you're like, yeah, there's
I
some more
won.
adrenaline tied to it.
I like to win.
I like it.
So,
We got soft when everyone started getting participation awards. That's when the world.
well, I
got
saw that
soft.
in Maple Grove. My son played first coach pitch baseball,
I have a funny story.
second grade in Maple Grove, and they didn't keep score.
Yeah.
I was like,
What's
what?
the point?
You guys, this is.
They didn't. You're not keeping score.
We went to
and
a
then they
turn-
all got a trophy at the end of the year.
We went to a tournament once, and my husband was the coach of my oldest son, Caden's team, and they went to Iowa, and we hadn't played anything. It was freezing.
Yeah.
Their team ends up losing. They were like, the number one team at Brooklyn Park, and I think they won one game, and they got an award. And my son, Caden, comes kind of up sheepishly, not sure what he's going to do, and my husband takes the award, and he throws it in the garbage. It's like, we didn't deserve that. We don't want an award. And Caden still talks about it
That's right.
I had to throw that away. I didn't earn
stunk.
my award.
You lost.
So, you
You
lost.
don't get a reward if
Yeah.
you lose.
Oh, he
Okay.
tells this story. My dad threw away my trophy.
That's right. Write a short story. Okay, and let's move on here. I'm starting to get. I'm thinking of more and more things.
Yeah.
It's making you mad.
Yes.
A little bit.
But quick, you have 12 chapters in Daniel. The first 6 chapters are historical chapters. All right. Daniel's 2 through 7. Just a reminder for people out there that like these facts, are in Aramaic. They're the only chapters in the Old Testament not written in the Hebrew language. They're in Aramaic. What's so funny, Jerry?
He
Jerry
sent me
introduce
a
himself?
text. He did.
Okay.
He sent me a text to move over a little bit.
You guys should
I was
see-
crowding your space.
You guys should see Jerry's hair. It's amazing.
Is this better?
That's fantastic.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Just like John.
Yep,
Wait,
just
was
like
it John and
had his-
Jesus?
Yes, but John had
John
his
and Jim.
head
That's
on
how
Jesus'
Israel's going to
chest.
be the whole time.
Yes, John's just going to sit next to me with his head on my chest.
While we're eating.
It's gonna be.
So isn't that what happened? Wasn't it while
be
Jesus
great.
was eating?
Yeah.
And he
Had
said,
his
I'm
head
the
on his
disciple that you love the most.
He was like,
Yeah.
no,
like-
never mind. We're not going to do it again.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And he's asking Jesus questions. Peter's like,
Ask him this.
Peter, you know what, Peter? I like you. I'm gonna go to
Peter's
Peter in
saying,
heaven.
Ask him who's gonna betray you.
and he's like, Lord, who is it that betrayed you? Right? With his head
Rabbi.
on.
Lord.
So the disciple that Jesus loved. But Daniel also has the only chapter written in the Old Testament by a Gentile king.
Wild.
Nebuchadnezzar, in chapter 4, wrote the chapter, had a lesson in pride, and he wrote the whole chapter. The second half of the book of Daniel is what we're doing. We might go into some historical stuff just to back up Daniel with the archaeological finds, backing up the historical parts of Daniel, chapters 1 through 6. Second half of the book of Daniel is all visions, chapter 7 through 12. Chapter 8, that's where we are, is another vision. The ram and the goat. Just to remind you, these chapters are not in chronological order. This chapter 8 occurs before the fall of Babylon, which happens in chapter 5. The fall of Babylon happens in chapter 5, the writing on the wall. When the Persians conquered Babylon, they dammed up the Euphrates and snuck under the walls and kept the whole city of Babylon intact. It was not destroyed. That's key for end times people. But look, let me tell you something. What we're doing here is basics. You've got to know this. We are convincing you of how right the Bible is. If you would just go back to the first episode that we did on this, or the second episode, the Septuagint, this stuff was already being passed around the Middle East. It was already transcribed into the Greek language hundreds of years before Jesus was born. Hundreds and hundreds. You know? And I know John wants to say something. Go ahead, John.
No,
say what you were just going to say. You were thinking. What were you thinking, John?
I was thinking a lot. I was thinking about...
You were thinking a lot? That's good.
Well, just about chapter 8 with the goat. I was just thinking that it's funny in the last 15, especially the last 10 years, goat has been synonymous as greatest of all time. But up until then, goat was like someone who screwed up royally or
lost the game.
They're the scapegoat. That's something they blamed on him. But I mean, it's interesting that the goat is depicted here. I guess
not as Tom Brady.
Not as Tom Brady, and also who's the false god, the goat, the Baphomet.
Oh,
I wonder if a lot of the devil worshiping and celebrity things, he's just enjoying that entity is enjoying.
Of course,
goats being celebrated so much.
Greatest of all time, Alexander the Great. This is who the goat is. It's prophesying about Alexander the Great 2 empires before he even showed up.
Yeah, right.
This is a prophecy of Alexander the Great while Babylon was still there. The Persians came and conquered Babylon. Then the Greeks came and conquered the Persians. So Daniel 2, Daniel 7, Daniel 8, these are staples of end times prophecy. It's what validates the Bible. Okay, you have to know this. This is people that are into end times. This is basic.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I preached every verse in Daniel, and I'm really surprised at how much I don't remember.
There's a lot in there.
From 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's good for you to hear and hear and hear. And in Daniel 8:1, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar. Belshazzar is not Belshazzar. See, in the book of Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar renames Daniel Belshazzar. This is not Daniel, the Belshazzar, Daniel with the Babylonian name. No, this is the actual regent. If you look into history, he was the regent. Belshazzar was the regent. He wasn't even the king. The king at the time didn't want to be king and was off vacationing for years at a time and put one of his family members in charge. It was Belshazzar. And in the Bible, at first, you see, before archaeology ever found this out, history used to say, well, he wasn't even the king.
Right.
It was a whole different guy.
Yeah.
Now that archaeology has revealed, history has revealed, oh, yeah, Belshazzar was a regent.
Yeah.
He was a regent in place of the king who did not want to rule and spent most of his time on vacation touring the Middle East.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in the 3rd year in the reign of King Belshazzar, who was a regent, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar. This vision has very similar content. He was a Babylonian regent, okay, to what we went over in Daniel 2. Now, this is God just saying, all right, here's Daniel 2, Nebuchadnezzar's dream, right? And then Daniel 7, again, it's like God really wants us to get this. Says the same thing, except using creatures.
Yeah.
And gives us more information.
It's more. It's clearer. Yeah.
That's where Daniel had the vision of the lion with the eagle's wings that represented Babylon. I mean, I don't know how much work it is for you, Jerry. Of the bear that had 3 ribs in its mouth, which got up off its side.
Jerry can put the pictures
The
on.
Persian Empire. Then the leopard, which had 4 wings, represented the Grecian Empire. And then what Daniel describes as a dreadful, terrible 4th beast represented the Roman Empire. All of this before it happened. The 4th beast, but that 4th dreadful beast of the Roman Empire had 10 horns, was so dreadful he couldn't even explain what the beast looked like. Then you get an 11th little horn. The 10 horns representing the European Union, the revised Roman Empire. That's the only empire that was prophesied that has not become official.
Yeah.
It's coming. He's gotten 4 out of 4. I think he's going to get 4 out of 5. And then the 6th one is Jesus' reign.
Yep.
The rock.
Yep.
That crushes it all. That's all from chapter 2. The little horn, the 11th horn comes up. That's the Antichrist. And so that's Daniel 7. We had images of all those that went into detail. Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the big statue.
Right.
What a coincidence. It's all prophetic. All these empires and all in order. From the Babylonians to the Persians defeating the Babylonians. Alexander the Great with the Greeks defeating the Persians. Rome, piece by piece, over many, many years, takes apart Greece, takes it away from Greece. All those showed up. You have the 10 kingdoms, the horns, which have not come to complete fruition. All these prophecies, visions, hundreds of years in advance, sometimes thousands of years in advance, and it's all just one big coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. Or not.
That the order of empires in succession just happens to line up perfectly with history. All prophesied or dreamed, interpreted in advance. Daniel just got lucky, huh? Got lucky.
Yeah. That is
Take him to the casino.
Quite the luck.
And go back to episode 1 or 2. We prove it that nobody wrote this after the fact. We prove how. Mm-hmm. We prove how it was. We know that it was not written after the fact. Go back. It's the first one or the second one in this series.
Or you could go to, what was the Daniel series that you did at Living Word? What was that one called?
Last Days on Fallen Earth.
Last Days of Fallen Earth.
It was linked to last. It's linked on our YouTube channel.
We did every
It is in
verse in Daniel. It took us 18 messages. Okay.
In depth. It was good.
And it's crazy. I did that 3 years ago. How much I don't even remember. You see, this is why you got to hear it again and again and again.
Back and yep.
Daniel 8:2. I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. I saw in a vision I was by the river Ulai. So Shushan Palace is 230 miles east of Babylon. We're breaking down these scriptures for you. Okay? This is in the Bible. And Shushan Palace can be verified archaeological.
Yeah.
It could be dug up, the Shushan Palace. Shushan is
built by Darius the Great.
It was 150 miles north of the Persian Gulf. Mm-hmm. And this became the main residence over time for the Persian kings.
It was featured in the book of Esther as the king Ahasuerus. Yeah.
Shushan had a famous palace built by Darius the First.
Yep.
Remember, Darius is a title. It's not a name. It's the title of the Persian king. The palace in this verse is enlarged by Xerxes. This is history here, which may be a familiar name. This was also the home of Esther, Queen Esther.
We can't get away from Xerxes around here because we got street named Xerxes all over the place.
Interesting, huh? You ever think of that when you see those Xerxes?
I'm like, why?
He's got a street named after him. This is also a city where Nehemiah resided. Mm. You can see that in Nehemiah 1:1. Daniel 8:3. I lifted up my eyes. I saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other. And the higher came up last. Familiar. 2 horns, a ram with 2 horns. Daniel 7:5. And behold, another beast. A second like to a bear. This is last chapter. It raised itself up on one side. Daniel 7:5. You've seen this. It had 3 ribs in its mouth. Between the teeth of it. And they said, arise, devour much flesh. I'm comparing the two visions here, 7 and 8. So we've got a ram in 8 who's got one horn higher than the other. Then we got a bear that's lifting up off its side with 3 ribs. Remember the way we described that? So you've got different examples for the same empire. The bear and the ram represent the Persian Empire. 2 horns on that ram, one higher than the other. Okay? The bear lifting up on one side. This all depicts, at first it was the Medo-Persian Empire, a single empire made of 2 parts. And the one that ended up being the dominant one, the Persian side came up second, the Medes first. The way these empires were formed together happened with Cyrus of Shan, 550 BC, defeats a guy named Astyages and brings the Medes under control. He captures the Median capital, added the title King of the Medes. And get this, from this point, many of the Medes were given high positions in his government of responsibility. So it became the Medo-Persian Empire. Isaiah and Jeremiah in their Old Testament books write about the Medes taking part in the capture of Babylon.
Yeah.
And the first ruler, see how the Bible just
Supports itself.
walks along with history.
Yeah.
Installed was Darius the Mede. They called him Darius the Mede. But everyone knows who was in charge. It was Cyrus the Great.
Yeah.
And he put Darius the Mede in charge. That's why in the verse we just read, you have one horn on that ram higher than the other.
Yep.
That's why you have the bear out of chapter 7 lifting up off one side. The Persians eventually rose to dominate the Medes. Right? See how God's just giving it to us in different ways.
Yeah.
Daniel 8:4, he sees the ram, which represents the Persians, pushing westward, northward, and southward. So that no beast, where did this chapter start? With Belshazzar, right? Belshazzar.
Yep.
With a Babylonian king.
Yep.
Right? So that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. The ram, the Persians. The Persian king, when he's riding at the head of his army, what a coincidence. History will tell you he wore the head of a ram.
Interesting. That's funny.
Instead of a crown. Remember how the Romans had the flag bearer?
Yeah.
He would wear was it a fox or a wolf? He wore the head of a wolf. The pelt of a wolf on his head.
Right.
The Romans. Remember this vision or dream? It's debated which it was, if it was a vision or a dream. Here in chapter 8. But remember Daniel had the one he had during the Babylonian Empire. He has it during the Babylonian Empire. Remember how this whole chapter starts at the reign of Belshazzar, who is the regent, the Babylonian co-regent. So none of this had happened yet. He's talking about the Persians.
Yeah.
The vision that he was seeing or the dream that he was dreaming at that time had not happened. It's prophetic. They also found Persian coins on those coins in archaeology. Guess what the king is wearing? A ram's head of gold on the Persian king. What a coincidence that Daniel would have a vision of the Persian Empire being represented by a ram.
Do you know while you're talking about Darius, do you know that he introduced a universal currency that everybody used? Is that
Was
interesting?
it digital?
It doesn't say that, but it says gold.
The Persian kings were quite amazing.
Interesting. But
They
a
were
universal
quite amazing.
monetary
Well,
system.
that
Does
way-
that not sound familiar, people?
Yeah.
The Persian kings were amazing. If you really study them, I know they lost to the Greeks, but they beat everybody else. And and you know what they would do? They wouldn't make everyone go. They let them worship who they wanted to worship.
Yeah.
And they did not destroy the economies
Right.
or the religions. That's why they wound up with such huge, vast territories. Half
they
of it,
respected the culture of the people in
and
those.
they didn't have to fight for it.
Right.
Well, they just show up with 500,000 men
Yeah.
or 1 million men, and everybody capitulated except the Greeks. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
but this ram pushing westward, I mean, refers to the Persians. This is history. This is we're matching the Bible. We know that the Persians taking Babylon, which at that point, at that time of this vision was prophetic. The ram pushing northward. Well, history will tell you the biggest northern victory the Persians had was a little empire called Lydia, just about an empire on its last strong state. The phrase pushing southward towards refers to the Persians conquering Egypt. That's history. These were the Persians' 3 big victories: Lydia, Egypt, and Babylon. This is what made them an empire. And just a reminder in Nebuchadnezzar's dream that Daniel interpreted, chapter 2, the Medo-Persian Empire was represented as the statue of breast and arms. And if Jerry's on it, bam, statue of breast and arms. How long does that take you to put that on there, Jerry?
3 seconds.
Okay, so I'm not doing too much. Just matter of fact, you saw the image of the statue. We showed you the image of the bear.
Yeah.
All right. So Lydia, Egypt, and Babylon. Wow, think about the bear with 3 ribs. He's got 3 ribs. Represents Lydia, Egypt, and Babylon.
Oh, there you go.
They're big victories. These are the victories that make them an empire. Now we have that empire represented by a ram.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a second player now in the vision, literally the GOAT, literally the greatest of all time. This is the greatest of all time we're talking about. Right here, when you talk about warfare, Daniel 8:5, nobody could touch him, not even Napoleon. Because Napoleon lost. Alexander the Great never really lost.
How would you compare Alexander the Great to Genghis Khan?
I don't know. I've read probably 4 books on Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
They did a lot of the similar stuff.
Yeah. But he was. I mean,
Alexander,
he was
I'll tell you
obviously
this.
way further east than.
I would rather, if I was going to be a vassal state under one of those empires, I would have picked Alexander the Great.
100%.
Much more
For
civilized.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Khan was.
They were
brutal.
They were awful. They were animals.
Yeah.
They were animals. Geniuses
Absolutely.
at how they fought. But Daniel 8:5, wouldn't you love to? But they were much bigger armies. You know, Alexander the Great, but what people don't realize is he's doing this was like, sometimes he had armies of 30,000 guys against 300,000, 200,000.
It's crazy.
All he needed was 30,000.
Yeah.
I think his high mark was 50,000. By the end, he's fighting in India against 300,000 dudes with elephants, and he's got 20,000 guys. And he finally turned around.
He's like, you know what?
He finally turned
We
around.
didn't want India anyway.
Because his guys were sick of it. They were done.
Yeah.
Daniel 8:5. And as I was considering, behold, the he-goat, the goat, greatest of all time, came from the west now on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. The goat and the ram. The goat in this vision represents the rise of the Grecian Empire and Alexander the Great. Greatest of all time, the goat.
The shaggy goat. That's what my one translation calls it, a shaggy goat. I don't know why, but it's interesting.
I'm surprised these scholars don't have an interpretation for why it was shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it. Hit the button. Oh, you're not in your concordance?
No, I'm on my Bible.
Okay.
What's the verse?
8:21.
Okay.
These are staples of end times prophecy in Scripture that you have to know. Nebuchadnezzar's dream back in chapter 2, what are the Greeks represented by? Belly and thighs of brass. Statue image. That was in Daniel chapter 2.
Just does say
Daniel
shaggy.
7.
It says rough, shaggy.
I think because they just never stopped. I mean, he's a goat, and they
He's
just kept.
dirty.
They kept fighting, and they kept fighting, and they kept fighting for 10 years. They never stopped. The Greeks never stopped. They never took a break. At the most, maybe a month or two, and they kept going. They were in Afghanistan. They fought the Afghani
what's interesting
tribes.
about the goat? If you you click on the button on your concordance, and it shows that it was the sin offering, right? You would place.
It was the scapegoat, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? That was literally what
There's
they
a connection
used. Yeah,
there.
there is.
There really is.
We're going really deep here today on the Final Hour podcast.
Daniel chapter 7, the Grecian Empire was represented in Daniel's vision as the leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads. Quickly, you had the 4 heads represent the 4 generals that the Grecian Empire went to, who divided it up among themselves after Alexander died at age 32. See the image of the leopard? Because Jerry's amazing. And as you can see, the 4 wings on the leopard are representing the speed with the Greeks and Alexander the Great took over the world. It's interesting looking at Nebuchadnezzar's dream, which Daniel interpreted in chapter 2, then Daniel's dream in chapter 7, or vision, and you look at this vision. These are all ahead of the time. These are all prophesied before they even happen. And that's why some scholars believe the book of Daniel had to be written later. But I just want to remind you that we explained to you why it wasn't written later. There is proof. You have to go back.
Didn't we talk about how somebody showed Alexander the Great how he was being
Yes.
Yes.
When he came in, this is you.
This is you.
This has already been prophesied. You're the goat.
Yeah.
You beat the Persians.
After maybe that's how they got him to stop crying on his bed.
Well,
not
they
yet.
capitulated.
Oh, okay.
They all
Let's
dressed
go
up in the white. The Jews dressed up in white and welcomed him. They stood alongside the road.
We've been waiting
It
for
impressed
you.
him. It impressed him. And I explained to you that the Greek Septuagint was translated many, many years, hundreds of years before Jesus was even born. It's been proven that this book, in order to be written, had to be written by an eyewitness and way, way, way earlier. Way earlier. Before the Old Testament was even finished, in essence.
Do you think that the Jewish scribes and scholars translated it before Alexander got there, or was it?
Well, we can give you, the date that the Septuagint took them 15 years.
Yeah.
And then you compare the Septuagint to Alexander. Like we have those. I'm about to give you some dates here when he shows up.
Go ahead.
Alexander the Great invaded Persia 200 years before this prophecy. The male goat was actually an emblem used by the Greek Empire. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Lots of coincidences.
The phrase in verse 5, and touch not the ground, that we just read, is speaking of the swiftness, in essence, in which the Greeks took over the world. Remember, the Bible, a horn represents strength. Remember, the ram had 2 horns representing the Medes and the Persians. The notable horn spoken of in verse 5 is Alexander the Great. Scholars believe that horn is Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is a major player, as we can see the Bible talking about him. Just to touch on him quickly, at the age of 20, he received the mantle of his father. His father's name was Philip of Macedon, and I've read history books on Philip of Macedon, and he was amazing. Very demonic, but amazing. He was a bad dude in his own right as far as skills at making war is concerned. He was a genius. Alexander's father was a genius, and by the time Alexander, at 26, he had conquered the Persian Empire. At 26, Alexander had conquered the Persian Empire, which was considered unbeatable. Alexander the Great was intelligent, ruthless. He could be ruthless.
Yeah.
And probably the greatest war or battle tactician that's ever lived. By the age of 30, Alexander's empire stretched from Greece to India.
Mm-hmm.
He had all of the Middle East. And by the age of 32, he died. One of the stories about Alexander the Great, I've told you this, at age 29, he fell on his bed crying because there were no more worlds left to conquer.
That's so funny. Oh, okay.
for me.
He looks like he'd be a crier if you Google his image.
The Septuagint was finished in
I just-
250,
After.
Well,
Yeah, it said it wasn't.
and Alexander the Great came into Judea at 332 BC.
Okay, so the Alexander the Great's mother's name was Olympias.
Mm-hmm.
She was the 7th wife of the king of Macedon. So Philip had 7 wives before he had Olympias as wives. And Olympias herself was ruthless, strategic, probably demon-possessed. This is Alexander's mother. Manipulative. Many scholars believe she was behind the assassination of King Philip to secure the crown for her son Alexander. She insisted that Alexander was conceived by her having intercourse with one of their gods, and she probably did, which was a snake. And based on the culture that they were subject to, it was very shrewd PR that she did this because, in essence, she was saying that Alexander was a half god.
Right.
Was a half god.
Yeah.
And I think the demigods were probably still running around a little bit by then.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think they were.
You got Alexander. You got Achilles. Do you think Achilles was around the same time as Alexander?
That was earlier.
Yeah, I think so.
That
too.
was earlier. Troy and all that.
Yeah.
Daniel 8:6. He came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in fury of his power. So the goat comes to the ram, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran at him out of anger. This is telling. In verse 6, the fury of his power is portraying the speed of the Greek victories, the ferociousness in which they did it, plus the military strategy that completely overwhelmed the much, much larger force of the Medes and Persians. And history will tell you all this. Real history will tell you all this, how it was done.
Mm-hmm.
You even know Alexander's battle tactics were even recorded in these battles in real history. In May 334 BC, he crossed into Persia. 334 years before Christ, he crossed into Persia with 35,000 troops, where he first met and defeated the much larger Persian army, which was first of 3 big battles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, remember, this is during the time of Belshazzar. We're discussing Daniel 8, okay? During the time of the Babylonian Empire. And a 1.5 year later, the Battle of Isis took place in November at the northeast tip of the Mediterranean Sea, where the Persian king Darius runs away in the middle of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the Persians greatly outnumbered the Greeks. You know, scholars argue about it. They either had a 1,000,000-man army, they could have had a 500,000-man army. The Bible says that once that Ethiopia attacked Judah with 1,000,000 men.
That's wild.
In the Bible, you can find that in I believe, 2 Chronicles. And so in October 331, the Persians were completely broken as an army at a place called Gaugamela, which was near Nineveh. That's in the Bible.
Up the coast in
Syrian capital.
Yeah.
The old Syrian Empire capital. These are the 3 major battles that just took place. I just went through with you that Alexander defeated, and forever the Persians were gone. Daniel 8:7.
They just fell apart as an empire.
Yeah, I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram. This is the goat. This is the Greeks and the Persians, and brake his 2 horns. There was no power in the ram to stand before him, and he cast him down to the ground, and he stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. So you got this goat, greatest of all time, Alexander the Great, the Grecian Empire, defeating the ram. In the natural, a goat could not defeat the ram. A ram is much bigger than a goat. Scholars estimate the Persian army was anywhere between 1 million as high as 2.5 million. I see there's even scholars that say it was 300,000, right?
Yeah.
So this is a big gap. They're not decided on how big these Persian armies were, but the word in verse 7, choler, that we just read, is believed that Alexander had bitterness towards the Persians. His hatred was fueled by the invasion of Xerxes, the Persian general, who had invaded Greece, and his general invaded Greece and his country some years before, and the Persians trounced through Alexander's land, but they weren't able to conquer all Greece. They got stopped. It's documented history. The Persians were extremely cruel to the Greeks, not awful. They did. They sold people into slavery. They did everybody. I'm acting like they're this kind empire.
No.
None of them are kind.
No.
Okay? They all dealt in slavery. It's known that the Greeks hated the Persians because of their treatment, and it was avenged by Alexander the Great, because Macedon was considered like a Greek city-state up there in the corner, and all the other Greeks like Athens and Sparta, they considered the Macedonians as like bumpkins.
They were the Hicks.
Bumpkins.
They were the backwoods Hicks.
Philip, his dad, Alexander. This was shocking when Macedon conquered Greece. And so there was no power in the ram to stand before him. He cast him down to the ground. The goat stamped on the ram refers to the fact that there was no mercy shown by Alexander to the Medes and the Persians. And we'll stop there. We're going to pick up in Daniel 8:8. This is a hugely prophetic chapter. We'll do a quick review. And we'll pick up there next week.
Nice.
Just got a couple things left here. Joe Morris's book, End Times Made Easy. There's no bad news for the Christian.
Wow.
Joseph Morris. At the beginning of this book, he gives you, now it's up to 85. If you follow, is it End of Days Update? Look up his podcast, End of Days Update with Joseph Morris. It's a quick one. It's not long like this. It's 10 minutes.
Boom, boom,
Focused on the signs, so you get the new signs. I think he's got 75 plus biblical signals of why we're at the end of the dispensation of grace, of why we're so close to the rapture. Gee, what a coincidence. All these things have come to pass. Up to this point, this is what we've given you. Israel becoming a nation, Jerusalem being won back, the revival of the Roman Empire, the Hebrew language restored, Ethiopian Jews brought back to Israel, fertility of the land of Israel, economic prosperity of Israel, the rebuilding of the temple, reestablishing the Temple Mount, foxes seen on the Temple Mount Institute preparing for temple worship, ritual baths filling up with water at the Temple Mount, the oil of anointing being found through archaeology in 1989, one world government, one world currency, one world religion, the prep for the Battle of Armageddon, China's one-child policy, the fish showing. Okay, look, check this. This is number 19. Fish showing up in the Dead Sea. Oh, well, it's prophesied. Ezekiel 47:8. Amplified Classic. He said to me, these waters pour out towards the eastern region, go down into the Jordan Valley and into the Dead Sea. And when they shall enter the Dead Sea, the sea of putrid waters, the water shall be healed and made fresh. And wherever the double river shall go, every living creature which swarms shall live. And there shall be very great number of fish, because these waters go there. These waters go there, that the waters of the seal may be healed and made fresh, and everything shall live wherever the river goes. This is a prophecy saying there's going to be fish in the Dead Sea. Well, let me give you this information. That was Ezekiel 47, 8 and 9. The Dead Sea's come into life. We know that.
Yeah.
This is proven. This is not made up stuff. End of days prophecies from Ezekiel, who said the land would flourish, bloom when the Jews return. He said water would flow east from Jerusalem into the Dead Sea, filling it up with fish. they have found fish. Scientists are shocked.
The Dead Sea tooth carp.
There's
a
a
small silver colored fish.
It's a fish.
Yep.
And you know what? If you go under there and you open your eyes, it's hard to believe anything could live in there.
Right.
You go on the Final Hour podcast and you'll be in the Dead Sea.
Yep.
Will they be in the Dead Sea?
Yeah, we did go to the Dead Sea.
We can.
No one was swimming because it's a little colder, but you can walk it.
You can
You can swim
it's kinda
too
cool.
if you can handle it.
Yeah.
They also have the Dead Sea water inside the hotel.
Yeah.
Which everybody did, and then went and sauntered.
Like a pool
Yeah, it's
of Dead Sea water.
Yep.
Scientists
Pulled straight
are
from
shocked
the Dead Sea.
to witness signs of life even now from the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
More than 400 meters below sea level, the lowest place on Earth. Sinkholes appearing around the sea are filling up with fish.
Yeah, there's like freshwater, like springs that come in in those parts, and the carp love it.
And all other forms of life previously unseen there with fish, other forms of life they've found. One expert said the existence of fish in the Dead Sea is a reality
Yeah.
that contradicts the laws of nature. Report that on NBC. And yet it is witnessed by science.
MS now.
And explain. Should be BS now.
It should be.
should.
What
And
a bunch
explained
of
by
babies.
Bible prophecy. Okay, whatever.
Yes.
Not apologizing for that. Verse 20, or the 20th sign. The Sea of Galilee, also known as Lake Kinneret, has been experiencing a rapid rise. This is over the last couple decades in the lake's water levels for almost 20 years. It declined for 20 straight years, getting
Right.
lower and lower and lower, and they were concerned. Well, according to the Jerusalem Post, this is prophetically significant
Yeah.
and a sign of the second coming, because the Talmud, that's the Jewish religious text of the law and rabbinical discussion, says the Sea of Galilee will be full,
Yeah.
filled to the rim
Yep.
when Jesus comes. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
It's at to some of the highest levels they've ever been able to put it at.
Yep.
It's all coincidental.
Lots of
All,
coincidences
all
today.
20
here,
of the
people.
signs that we've given you, it's all a coincidence. It's just one big coincidence.
The coincidences.
A world of coincidences.
World of iniquity.
Something.
Are
We
we doing
got
the news
Linnea.
today?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
gotta.
what we were
Of
doing.
course we are.
Well, we said that last week and we
love
didn't
the
do the
news.
news. Who doesn't love the news? We should love this, though.
A
people.
lot of this is
I
not
love
in the
the
news. That's
good
why.
news.
Every same. Who doesn't love the good news? You know what? I'm not even going to talk about that. As a little kid, you had to go up when you did street evangelism. Have you heard the good
Have
news?
you heard the good news?
As it's like a
Ha
cracked out
oído
drug addict, and you're
las
like
buenas
8,
noticias.
and they're like under a bush, and you're like, "Have you heard the good news?" And the people you're with are like, "Did you get that person over there?" And you're like, "They literally have a needle hanging out of their arm." No, I didn't go talk to that person.
Stories from Linnea's forced of street evangelism as a child.
But the Living Word Christian Center.
Did you want to
street
go be a street evangelist as a child?
You know, at first it kind of sounded fun, and then you went out there and you were scared because you were like in these parks with other kids your age. Like, I don't know. This
It's
is
like-
before Jacob Wetterling like became a big deal, but it was scary. You're with these crack addicts and like, tell me the good news. And you're like, I only know so much. I'm 8. I mean, Jesus loves you.
Oh my
I prayed
gosh.
with hey, some people are going to heaven because of
Little
all
8-year-old
that.
Linnea.
It was like the children's the orphans crusade, but it was
Well, you know
Just
Erica
people from-
Bergstrom. She'd be
oh,
like,
yeah.
"Come on, woman, we're going over there and we're praying with these people." And you'd be like, "Okay."
It's the last person I want to be doing.
Erica was never afraid
She was
of
a
anything.
no, she wasn't.
Force to be reckoned
Yeah.
with is exactly right.
Yep.
She's in heaven.
She is.
Absolutely.
Who knows the things that she prayed in?
I'm sure
into
she's. I'm
fruition.
sure she's one of those people that guy mentioned that is
Yeah.
in heaven. That there was another lady there. I bet
Could
bet
be.
you.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
wouldn't be
at
surprised.
all.
She
Could
put in
be.
a lot of time in prayer for her.
Yes.
Anyways,
That's,
okay.
That's a good call.
Okay, so Remember how Minnesota changed its flag?
That makes me nauseous.
Well, Jim.
Whenever I see the Minnesota flag, I literally get nauseous and I say, this is what I say. Are we in Somali?
It depends on where in
Somalia?
Minnesota you are.
Don't vote for Omar Feta. But you know what you can
It's
do?
not a Minnesota flag. It's the Somali flag. Let's not even call it the Minnesota flag. It's the flag of Somalia.
Well, you guys,
Minimalia.
I'm here to tell you some good news about that. You, Jim Hammond, can sign a petition to bring back the old original Minnesota flag.
Yeah.
Yep. So this petition is filed on change.org. We have a link in the more section, okay? So go.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I just saw a clip on Sean Spicer's podcast. It was either it was Jesse Kelly, where it showed a Texas congresswoman down. Oh no, she's from Guatemala, and she is saying my loyalties are to Guatemala.
Yeah.
My loyalties are to Guatemala.
Same for Ilhan Omar.
Yet those idiots in Texas voted her in. And you know what? Those people should be thrown out of the government.
Absolutely.
If their number one thing, look at the Omar lady.
Yeah.
There's
Ilhan Omar
I saw
for
clips
sure.
of her saying you tell the American government what to do, Somalia. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
We tell the American government what to do. Though if that's who your loyalties are, then you should be out.
Yeah.
Gone.
Why don't we have criteria like we do for the presidential race? Like, if you want to become anything in the government, why don't you have to be a naturally born citizen where you are going to put the needs of America first?
It's a great question.
It's maddening.
Yeah.
And I have a lot lot on that. Okay. So Minnesota, let's get our flag back.
Yeah,
okay?
let's get
Even
our
if you're
flag
not
back.
from Minnesota, sign the petition.
Sign
okay?
it.
Cancel the Somalia flag.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. Look at the flag from Somalia.
It is. Okay, so the California AB 495, which is called the Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025. It's a family disaster plan. Okay, you guys, this is how they're touting it on social media because, Jack Hibbs showed up yesterday with, I think it was like
a ton of people.
10,000, 7,000 people. But this is what they're saying. This Family Preparedness Plan Act educates child care providers to prepare for ICE raids, okay? So they're putting it under, it's going to be an ICE raid. This strengthens legal tools for families to make caregiving arrangements and remain unified after separation due to detention, deportation, hospitalization, or emergencies. Okay, that is a lie.
That's the cover.
That's the cover. Okay, and they're saying
that's how Gavin Newsom will talk
they're
about
saying Jack Hibbs shouldn't, because he's been on Fox News. He's been everywhere for this, right, with a bunch of other people fighting to get this bill stopped. Because he's saying, I've told everyone, don't leave the California, stay here and fight. But he's like, if this bill gets passed, you should leave the state of California if you have kids.
Because they can take your kid.
Yeah, but this...
Someone can take your kid 1 aisle over in the grocery store.
But remember, they're saying this is because
Claim
of
your
ICE.
kid.
This is because of ICE,
That's what can happen, though, right?
Yes.
Anyone can come claim your child.
No matter who.
They can get
Claim
a piece
one
of paper
sheet of
from,
paper.
you go on the California government website, you get this piece of paper, you bring it and you show it to them, and now they can take your child.
It doesn't have to be notarized. It doesn't have to be
No, it doesn't have to be anything. No background check.
So that individual can fill it out for themselves and bring it in and claim any child.
Yes.
Under
So
this
glad I'm not
legislation.
having children
So
anymore.
So this bill is on suspense, okay?
What a world.
So that means it's on pause. It's not over, but this is what they're doing. They took it off the table
Tabling
publicly.
it for now.
But lawmakers will decide behind closed doors whether to kill or quietly push this bill forward. So we need to keep praying against.
Kind of what they do up here.
Yes.
Exactly.
They do up here every year.
Yep.
They have hold a midnight session.
Yep.
And try to get a law to where churches like ours will have to let males into the female bathroom, where a 36-year-old man who identifies with a 4-year-old can go to the nursery class every year. And then everybody freaks out, right? And that's what they do. They keep doing it.
Yep.
And they keep doing it.
Yeah.
And they keep doing it. And after 6 or 7 years, this is what happened with gay marriage.
Yeah.
And after 6 or
100%.
7 years, it gets passed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody drops their guard.
Yep.
So that's what they're doing. They took it off the table. You know it's coming back, right?
Just like they took off the. Remember how we talked about a couple weeks ago about how California they were trying to pass a bill. They said they passed the bill for the city or the state of California to be able to buy the Palisades
Palisades fire area.
from the residents and make low-income housing. Well, so many people have fought against that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You remember Spencer Pratt?
Yeah.
From The Hills. He was on that TV show. He set up a little YouTube station with him and his wife, and they do a YouTube from their house in the Palisades explaining how Gavin Newsom and all those celebrities, how they raised $700 million for the Palisades residents to be able to build their houses back and clean it all out. None of that money has gone to any of them. It went to like George Clooney's transgender funds.
Went to Gavin Newsom's wife's charities, which those charities then give money to Gavin Newsom's wife's companies.
Yes. But guess what? Now,
millions and millions
of dollars. So because Spencer Pratt keeps posting all this, like, I'm not suicidal.
Mel Gibson has also been
that's good.
doing the same
so
stuff.
So now the IRS is actually going in and looking into this because they're like, okay, we got to look into this. How is $700 million missing?
Yeah. And then how are they going to go? Gavin Newsom go, 8 months later, go, you know what? If those Californians don't need their property anymore because they're basically claiming eminent domain, and the residents don't have a choice to sell their property. That's the problem.
Yes,
it's not like they have a choice of selling to California or keeping it themselves and rehabbing their own property.
Stealing people.
They
still have to pay on their land and their house. They're still paying for everything, even though there's nothing there.
It's the same situation as Maui. It's the same situation as Chile. And
North Carolina.
See. Yeah, I was going to say North Carolina. We haven't seen how that's shaken out yet since those hurricanes last fall.
No.
Or the flooding,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
it rains, right?
It was, torrential rains.
Right. From a hurricane that had broken up,
basically,
I think.
Okay, I'm sure many of you saw that U-Haul driver the other day who made an illegal turn in Florida and killed that family of three.
It was a straight up...
illegal immigrant.
I mean, it was an 18-wheeler. It was not just a...
So you got an illegal immigrant driving an 18-wheeler.
So this guy came, which I love that. I love that this is bringing awareness to it.
I saw the footage.
I did too. He didn't even look like he cared. He just kind of looked back like, look at that. A van just ran into me.
Slow us down.
So the Department of Homeland Security confirmed that ICE is now seriously considering immigration enforcement at truck weigh stations because so many illegal immigrants came into the country. They got driver's license under the Immigration Licensing Act in California. Remember, and Minnesota, where everybody gets a license.
Yeah.
So, what's
if you're
his
watching
name?
us out of state, yes,
Sean
we're one of those guys.
Is now like, because of California, New York, Massachusetts, and Minnesota, and a dozen other states that gave them these, we are now looking into putting ICE into truck weigh stations, which you should. This
100%.
guy literally killed 3 people. Just look like no big deal. And they gave him a test, and he failed. He only got 2 out of like the 12 questions right of why he should even be allowed to be behind the wheel. This might get Jim hot too. So remember when we were letting illegal immigrants become police officers?
Yes.
In Maine and California. I know, this is great though. A Maine police officer was arrested by ICE, and he agrees to voluntarily leave the country. Because this guy was an illegal immigrant, but he was a police officer. And I don't know what happened, but they did. Oh, he overstayed his visa, so they arrested him. And have you seen the ladies in the Home Depot parking lot when the ICE raids show up? Because like the ICE officers, they come in like Home Depot trucks, right? So it looks like they're just coming into places with like a delivery. And then you have these like, I want to call them Karens. And they're like, you can't take this person away.
All rich white liberal ladies, right? Rich white liberal ladies, like all those ladies that you see on those ridiculous reality shows. What are they called? The
Housewives.
The housewives of Minnetonka.
All those people bother me.
Oh, supposedly there's a Housewives of Minnesota coming.
Oh, Lord.
No one cares, okay?
Yeah,
no one cares.
They don't.
It's rough.
They don't.
This is good though. I think we've talked about this before, but this is getting closer. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced on Tuesday that the U.S. is in the process of designating the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization.
Good.
That is great. He's like, why wouldn't we designate the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR, these organizations, as terrorist groups?
Wow, we're finally doing that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's just amazing they're not.
Well,
But it's a
good
process.
What are you
because
skipping? You're skipping stuff. We
Because
got
no one cares about.
what? Let's just run through the
that
subjects.
stuff.
Put it back.
That stuff there, the Muslim Brotherhood
give-
and the
No.
and
No, give me this.
CAIR.
Yeah,
Those are
CAIR.
important because right now they have lobbying influence in Washington. So you can start disallowing them to have a presence if they're on a terrorist organization sheet.
Okay, quickly. A career Democrat intelligence official has come forward to blow the whistle on Adam Schiff. Who is it? He's one of the biggest doofuses in our
pile
government.
of Schiff.
Who he says repeatedly
A pile of
authorized
Schiff.
leaks. Yes, Senator Adam a pile of Schiff authorized leaks of classified information during Russiagate to politically damage Trump. Okay, the FBI has memos. Director Kash Patel turned over to Congress. The whistleblower worked for Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee for over a decade, and he warned the FBI beginning in 2017 Schiff was approving leaks to the press.
Russiagate was a real thing.
Listen, a summary of the whistleblower's interview with the FBI said ranking member Schiff was particularly upset as he had believed he would have been appointed as the director of the CIA had candidate Hillary Clinton won the election. Just giving you fast
That you don't need to
stuff
read
here.
the rest of that. It's the same.
More
No,
Schiff.
I'm going to do the last one.
Okay, unbacked. Was that it?
There's,
You were going to skip that one.
No, I was not going to skip
Okay,
that.
pick up there then.
Thanks, Jim.
You could just do it really fast. We don't have to even talk about.
I am,
you
but you
skip
know how
stuff
I don't
every week.
Well, that's because people can go into the more section and read the rest.
Hold on, there's people.
Let 'em
No, they
fish.
can't. People are emailing in,
Jim,
asking, saying,
Jim?
"I don't know how to get into
And
the
guess
more."
what? I made a video on my phone of how to press the more button, and you go down, and it's right there. It's just them not.
So that
looking.
guy got his question answered.
Yes, I sent
He
her.
showed up.
I sent
It
her.
was a him, I thought.
No, it was a her. I sent her
That
a
didn't
video.
know how to get to the more.
It's literally says more. You just got to hit the button and knock it down, and then it's right there. It's just they didn't know how to
So
read.
you took care of her, right? I was like, that's pretty sad when we got people that don't even know how to get to our articles.
Well, it's there. It's just they don't know how to get there because they're not reading everything. They just got to look a little bit. They got to do a little fishing on the site themselves.
Maybe we need to do that, explain that on the podcast itself, how to get
Sure,
to the
we
more
can,
section.
of
Not
course.
just how to subscribe, but how to get to the more section.
I can put my great video that I recorded and put it on there.
Nice.
I literally did it.
You
A
have to
screen save.
put the video in the more section.
No, we'll put it on here if you're watching. And then for our listening viewers, that's what Megan Kelly does. This is what's happening
For
right
our
now.
listening
And you know what? I
viewers.
like that because I'm not going to watch
Well,
her
I
show,
got to
but
remember
I'll-
to do that when I tell Jerry
I know.
to put
I've
a
been
picture
trying
up.
to. I bet you.
Well,
But
then-
you have. You've been good about
For
describing the foreheads and
your
the two
listening
horns and
viewers.
that. You say that.
Okay.
Okay. So the UN backed watchdog rigged Gaza famine metrics. Wow. That means that they lied about 15 to 30% of how many people weren't being fed. So they lied, right? Remember they're saying, oh, they're not getting fed, but they were. But this UN backed group, they rigged it so that everybody thought that what was happening over there was more catastrophic than it was. Like
Yeah.
they're not getting the food they're supposed to be getting.
Right.
So
And
they
then-
lied about that, but
They
they
lied about
also,
that.
you know, they also take the numbers that Hamas gives for total people killed.
Yeah.
Like the total people killed in the Gaza war.
Right.
That's Hamas health ministry.
Yeah.
Like what?
It is-
That's your numbers? Those
Yeah.
are your official numbers for people killed?
Can I say something? Because I was listening to
The Hamas.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she
Yeah.
was on Megan Kelly, and they were talking about Israel. And I kind of want to like hear her because remember,
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor
can
Greene
be-
is trying to tout Kufi
Right.
as a terrorist organization, and like saying that because we support Israel so strongly, Christians United for Israel,
Right.
that we shouldn't be allowed to do that because then how are we any different than
Sure.
those who are promoting like Palestine?
Right.
Okay, first of all, and she was like, and this is what they do. They take people over to Israel, and they take the freshman team, and they bring them over there, and then they show them this because she said the United States gives every year they sign a bill where we give Israel, I think it's like $3.8 million or $1 billion
Yeah.
for them, and she's saying we shouldn't be doing that anymore. And I just was listening to her, and I was kind of like, she's so deceived because she doesn't understand like that is a
Right.
seed planted to Israel, and like what does the Bible say?
Right.
And I thought, how many people? Because like it just kind of got skewed. Because like even Megan Kelly like made a comment,
does.
it kind of got like they like kind of like tweaked it where it was like Megyn Kelly no longer supports Israel. That's not what she was saying in her thing. So you have to listen to the whole thing. But I was listening to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I thought, you know what? Like,
she is what for what state? Do you have any idea? Does anyone have
isn't
any
she
idea
Colorado
who
or
Marjorie Taylor Greene
Montana?
is? Can we look her
Georgia.
up real quick? We
No.
don't even we're going to tell you Marjorie Taylor Greene is for those of you that don't know who she is.
She's from the southeast.
She's an
somewhere.
idiot, right?
Well,
Is she a Republican?
she is a
Yes.
Republican, Georgia.
Oh, that's
I
really
thought she was-
unfortunate, and that's where it's going.
But
A
I
lot
was
of these,
listening.
lot of these conservatives are turning Catholic, and the Catholics are completely against Israel. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Always will be against Israel, and that's where they're going. That's ridiculous. I'm a member of this.
Kufi.
I'm a member, and I've been on a tour over many tours, but one tour with the leader of Kufi. The leaders, John and Diana Hagee. So that lady's stupid.
I know. I listened to it, and I
she's
just
stupid.
thought, what are you doing? Like, the more I listened to her, but actually, Megyn Kelly like kind of fought back
It'll
because
make it
she was
stronger.
saying Palestine this, and Megyn Kelly's like, well, they deserve everything they're getting.
Yeah,
Like October
absolutely.
7th happened,
Right.
and then
Right.
she kind of just stepped away from it. I'm like,
Yeah.
of course you did.
Who, Megan?
No,
No.
are you
Well, it
kidding?
Sounds like
Marjorie
Megan
Taylor
was
Greene.
kind of soft
No.
on that.
No, she's not soft on anybody.
On
No.
Israel?
No,
No.
she's
Okay.
not.
I-
She was
Doesn't sound like she really defended it.
She did defend it. She's just saying, like, I understand what you're saying, but Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, they should be able to sustain and pay for everything themselves, was kind of like her point of like why she doesn't believe we should be supporting Israel like we do.
And you know what? They could. But they could.
Right,
but
they
it's,
could.
She doesn't see into the. This
That's
is how
what
you
I'm
get
saying,
blessed.
the depth. Exactly.
What I'm
Okay.
so tired of arguing with people about this stuff. I really don't have time, and I won't.
Well, we don't need to
I
argue.
won't.
We're
We
just
we're
saying
just gonna
this
give
is
our
why.
point of view.
And I thought this
when-
is
we'll
why
give the scripture.
biblically
Well, I
the
think-
Bible tells us to support Israel because then you'll be blessed and like you're protected.
It's good to note because probably about 95% of the time, if we talk about news that's involving Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's going to be on our side.
Yes, she
For
is.
some conservative values.
Yes.
But there, like you said, there are some people that there are some sketchy things that Mossad and the CIA, under the guise of Israel or the United States, have done and are continuing to do. That's not what we're saying. We support
no.
the United States or
Right.
we support Israel. We support the people of Israel, the nation of Israel. And we know that God has said multiple times that if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed.
Yeah.
And so we're going to continue to do that. Doesn't mean we have to agree with everything that the Israeli government or Israeli special forces do, because they're just people,
Right.
you know?
And can
And
I?
they're at war with everyone around them.
Absolutely.
They've got to hit back. They've got to hit back all the time over there.
100%.
It's the way it is. They're going to hit back. They're going to be the aggressors.
100%.
Just like having people's pagers explode, all that
Right.
stuff.
Which
That's what
is a
they have. They
crazy
have to do
story.
that.
Yep.
They have to fight like that. That's the way it
Yes.
is.
Well,
I
and
know.
that
I know
cut
our
the head
liberal
off of-
idiots over here don't understand that.
But you know
Yeah,
what? I
but-
was listening to Amir Safadi, and he was talking with Jack Hibbs, and he said
Yeah.
that even one of those people that the pager exploded on, somebody from the Israeli camp texted the wife of one of these guys and was like, "Get out of the room because this is going to
Yeah.
happen." And she did. She left, so they were protecting
Yeah.
the good people that would have been injured in that. Anyways, let's end on this because I'm really tired of people saying Trump's a pervert and he was at Epstein Island. Okay, I actually got into a fight with somebody at my gym about that, and I was like, I actually got into a fight with him twice this week and sent him an article the other day because he was like, RFK Jr. took away funding for the health industry that was, I don't know, like securing advancements in health. And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, that's not even what happened. He took away transgender funds.
Right.
Okay, so former Attorney General Bill Barr, who is not a Trump fan,
No.
told Congress that he never saw any information in the Epstein files that would link President Donald Trump to any crimes.
Yep.
And then you have Melania Trump suing Hunter Biden
Yep.
because he made up all these lies
Yep.
from the Daily Mail, which are the Daily Beast, which actually had to retract their information saying that Melania Trump was in with Jeffrey Epstein, which was a total lie.
Yep.
She's like, I'm going to sue you for $1 billion. He's like, I'm not retracting anything, which okay, you should. So Donald Trump this week is releasing documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case starting on Friday, which is when this will be going. Okay. So just so you know, if anyone says Donald Trump's a pervert, you have Attorney General Bill Barr saying there's nothing
and
in
it's
there.
been shown that Bill Barr is actually probably part of the problem that everything happened with the Russiagate.
Yes, you
That
guys.
he didn't.
Well, all those
wasn't- he
people are going to
wasn't
get promoted to
real
things they
clear
never
about
thought
it.
Trump would get back in. It was
Right,
all hidden.
right.
It was all in hidden places. It's just like, come on. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I'm so tired of everybody just like, if you did a little digging and you actually
Yeah.
did a little research on the things you heard
I was
and
watching-
went to the source,
I was watching Jesse Kelly, and he said, "What the heck do you think these people are doing from the time Trump got elected till he was inaugurated? It's the same people in charge. They're cooking. They're cooking the books.
Of course.
Absolutely.
They're cooking the books in regards to the Epstein
Yep.
things, and so you have to look at that from from that point of view. Also, I mean, you think they're just going to sit back and leave that stuff alone?
Yep.
When they know Trump's
No,
coming?
absolutely not.
And so with that, we're going to go ahead and end it for this week. We thank you so much for tuning in. Please do remember to subscribe, and please consider coming with us on the Final Hour Podcast Israel Tour, February 2nd through the 13th, 2026. God bless you. See you next week.